Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you another video. All right, so better energy now. I had the day that I had. It was a good day. Got out, did all my things that I wanted to do. Got the exercise I needed. Came home, did some exercise. So now I'm a bit more energetic than I was a little earlier. Talked some things through on this channel, all that good stuff. And now I'm ready to address the continued reports of LeBron James not being happy with the Lakers and Lakers not wanting to move forward with him after this year and all different types of other stuff. As I addressed this morning, this became like the day where they really put the pedal to the metal with that story. Like, when I was saying that stuff this morning, I didn't realize this was going to be the day where the media just zeroed in on LeBron and the Lakers relationship and just went full throttle propaganda on us. I have yet to hear from LeBron James, and that's what I'm waiting to hear from. I've yet to hear from Jeanie Buss or Mr. Walter. I ain't heard nothing from Mr. Walter. But I'm waiting to hear from these people. I don't trust the media come summertime when there ain't nothing to talk about. After the draft, the summer league is going, but it's a little slow because a lot of the players are not playing in the summer league that you thought you would see. Some of the big names aren't even out there. They may have only played once. It's been a cool summer league, but it's not like thought-provoking. Some of the trade talk has died down. We passed all of the different transactional free agent stuff, draft stuff. Now it's time for the media to figure out what to talk about. Who's going to be on the move? Nobody? Okay, well, let's dig into the LeBron James thing. The Lakers just sold the team, so there's an environment for which to manipulate storylines about LeBron not being happy about that. Maybe, and that's what I think is going on here, y'all. I just think this is the media strumming up nonsense for us to obsess over, just like they do every year about positions, transactional possibilities and stuff like that. This is the new thing. They don't have a KD trade that just happened. They don't have nothing to talk about, so why not talk about the 40-year-old dude who's about to retire being unhappy with the organization he's been with for the last 8 years because they just made a change in ownership and he's on the last year of his deal, and we've always talked about this guy, so let's squeeze a little bit of drama out of him before he retires, just like we've been squeezing drama out of him since he was drafted. I mean, this is really what they've been doing with LeBron James my entire life. Literally making up stuff or trying to manipulate stuff or tell us stuff about this guy to make us hate him. They did a whole campaign for 20 years making people hate this guy, like literally hate him. And so to see them act like this in this situation is exactly what you would expect. This is what they've been showing you all the time. This is what they do with LeBron James' name. So do I think LeBron James is any more happy or unhappy with the Lakers than he's ever been? Probably not. Is he probably playing into this a little bit? He always does. He's just as much of a narrative creator as the people who create the narratives around him. He loves to play into it. He helps. It makes a lot of money for him. It does a lot of things for his brand, and he likes the attention, it seems. He's always been the one who embraced that. So that's why he was such a fantastic superstar for this league, because he never shied away from playing into the narrative. He never shied away from playing into the narrative. He knows exactly what these people want. And he's been giving it to him, and it's made him billions of dollars. So this is just another one of them same old things, man. I'm not expecting LeBron James to move on, and if he does, it's going to be a massive story, and it's going to make a lot of people a lot of money around the situation. It's going to be a continuation of the same thing we've been seeing for 22 years. It just is what it is, This is the LeBron James experience. It's a circus. It's always been a circus, and it's going to be a circus until he retires, and probably a little bit after that too, depending on what happens next with his sons. It's going to be a circus. But I tell you the truth, his son, Bronny, is a nice prospect for the Lakers as a back-of-the-bench guy for now, and maybe somebody who has some upside for real. I don't find myself excited about moving on from that prospect just because of the stuff going on around his dad. I actually want to keep that player. He's an athletic piece. He can play some defense, even though he's a little smaller. He looks like he's going to be a nice scorer, an explosive piece. I like explosiveness on my team. He's dirt cheap because he's not a high-level star. He may become one. He's a player on a dirt cheap contract that puts a lot of bodies in seats based on his relation to his dad. So how is there going forward a better, more cost-effective to have cash cow than Bronny James? From a Laker perspective, when you think about how much it costs to keep players that garner this much attention, this is the best value in basketball. It really is for that aspect of basketball. He's the best value in basketball. You got people paying thousands of dollars to see him play basketball, screaming his names at garbage time. People are staying at basketball games on the road when the score is out of whack, screaming his name so they can see him play. That's what is real. That's what we just saw last year. In places like Milwaukee and Boston or whatever, they screaming Bronny, Bronny. In garbage time of a basketball game, when usually people leave the building, they're staying to see our 12th man's check into the basketball game. I'm not in the business of moving on from Bronny James if I'm the Lakers. He's the best value draw in basketball. Anybody else that has that type of buzz around him, you got to pay $270 million. Even some of them dudes that you pay $270 million don't have that type of draw. People don't care that much to watch them play. Not to where they're calling their name. And all I'm saying to you is this. Going forward, the relationship between LeBron James and the Lakers can't sever, because that's not in the Lakers' best interest in multiple areas, including the Bronny factor. You don't want to trade Bronny James. You don't want to do that. And so that right there tells me that just that aspect of the story throws a monkey wrench in the narratives that this is about to be an ugly breakup. Because he's still going to have his son here, and the Lakers, if they think it like me, ain't going to want to relinquish him. Even if they're ready to move on from Pops, they're going to want to keep the kid. Just being honest. And they're probably going to want the next kid too. They're probably going to want Bryce too on the Lakers. So I'm telling y'all, hey, I don't know if people are looking at it this way. Maybe they need to see my video to see it that way. But I don't imagine that the dollar signs aren't telling them that Bronny James is literally the best draw at a value you're going to find in all of the sports. Maybe in all of sports, period. What other 6th man, 12th man, rather, in any sport garners this much attention and approval from the fans? None of them. Nobody. Nobody has a player making that amount who has that much buzz. That player doesn't exist anywhere. You want to keep Bronny James. So, with that being said, I don't think LeBron's leaving the Lakers. And if he does leave the Lakers, I think it's going to be amicable. And if the Lakers got any sense, they're going to keep Bronny James. They ain't going to let Bronny go. So, I don't think they're actually going to break up. I think LeBron James probably ends up retiring the Laker. I don't think the Lakers like any of the trade packages, as I told you this morning. For LeBron James, I don't think anybody likes any of those trade packages that would come in return, especially with him having a no-trade clause, being able to dwindle down from the packages and the options of packages from other teams. Because he's going to say, y'all want to go to this team, and they're going to be like, I'm willing to offer this. Plus, what I'm starting to hear is other teams are essentially saying that they're not willing to trade anything for LeBron James. Cleveland said they only want him in the event that there's a buyout possibility. The Dallas Mavericks said they only want him in the event that there's a buyout situation. So if those two teams are essentially saying no, what you end up finding is it becomes more difficult for the Lakers to see any reason to tell LeBron, hey, we're ready to move on from you. Will you waive your no-trade clause? Because if all these teams are essentially saying we're not willing to trade for him, then there's nowhere for him to really go that the Lakers would ultimately benefit from trading him in regards to. So what that ends up doing is backs the Lakers into a situation where they're forced to buy him out. Why the hell am I buying him out? Like, there's no incentive under any circumstance for me to buy out a guy who's on an expired contract. No incentive. None. So the media wants you to think that there could be a potential breakup. Bron may play into that by unfollowing people on Instagram, but it comes training camp, I expect LeBron to be there with Bronny James, ready to start the season, like always. Especially if teams are going around publicly essentially saying we're not willing to trade for LeBron James. And as I told you guys in my previous video, or the video before the last video where we talked about this, I was outside of Target telling y'all about trade packages and how difficult it would be to put a reasonable value on LeBron James at this stage. Trying to negotiate a fair price for LeBron James forcing his way out is impossible on either side, because then you have to come to the conclusion that a 40-year-old who's about to retire is worth a package to send. And then the Lakers have to be, within their position, vehement about not giving him up for pennies on the dollar because of the fan equity value that he ultimately brings to the table, regardless of how well he's playing or what level he's playing at, if that makes any sense. Again, putting bodies in seats. No one's ever going to realize that value in a fair way, because it doesn't make sense for either side to give him away at fair value or to trade for him at fair value. If I'm picking him up, I'm telling you that I'm only going to have him for 5 minutes. He's about to retire, and the risk is not worth the trade package. And if I have him on my side, I'm telling you that you're about to make $2 billion off of having that dude in your uniform, whether he's playing well or not. So I'm not about to give him up for anything less than a king's ransom. And you're going to find yourself in a stalemate for any trade for LeBron altogether. So this is why teams are telling everybody, hey, we're not willing to trade for LeBron James. Why? Because why even go down that path if we can just create the environment to which the Lakers feel like they don't have a trade partner for LeBron James? They will release him into the wild, and we pick him up for free without having to give anything up. So that's why your team like Cleveland and Dallas are saying that. And what's likely to happen is every other team in the league is probably going to say that same thing. None of us are willing to give up anything for LeBron. We are only interested in the environment for which he is bought out. That way they can stick it to the Lakers, effectively get all of that fan value for free, sign him to whatever it is he wants, keep everything that helps him win, because the pressure on them to help him win is going to be serious. And if they trade what it is the Lakers are going to ask for, they ain't going to be able to. This is the posturing that the league has to take in order to effectively have what it takes on their team upon acquiring LeBron James. If I'm Dallas, I'm not giving you Cooper Flag for LeBron. But if I'm Lakers, I'm going to ask for Cooper Flag for LeBron or all the picks for the next several years, as to which it makes no sense to do that if you're Dallas for all the things that we already discussed. So, stalemate. If the Lakers are willing to buy him out, they're going to be all the teams in the league willing to sign him. 1 year deal, $80 million, break what Devin Booker just made, no problem. They're going to pay him record money if he decides to sign for 1 year or 2 years. However, no one's trading for it. And if you're the Lakers, I'm not buying him out. It's not happening. There's no reason to do that. I'm going to keep this year's LeBron James fan value in pocket, get my little $2 billion for the last hurrah, and if he wants to go out into the wild, so be it. That's the only way to play it. If you're Walter and Genie, it's the only way to play it. I'm not giving up that value, just like you're not paying for that value. So, Bron, I hate to tell you this, but if you really want off of this team right now, you're going to have to leverage yourself a buyout. And if people are listening to me, you're not getting it. You're not getting it. So you're going to be a Laker this year. Unless it makes sense for people to move on from fan value, which it's never going to make any sense for the Lakers to do that. Even if Luka goes down with an Achilles, like I said, God forbid that never happens. Maybe you trade LeBron then. That's not taking into effect that if you have LeBron James, people are still filling up the arena. I'm not giving that up even if the season's lost. Do you understand what I'm saying? If I'm the owner, I'm not giving that up even if the season's lost, man. As long as LeBron can continue to draw that type of attention, both home and away, and Bronny does too, there's no reason for me to give up on him off the strength of that value, for the strength of that profit. That's the money that LeBron James really brings to the table. Him playing at a high level just reinforces that he still has that demand from the fans. Now, if for some reason that demand dwindles, Or if you show me the numbers where people no longer come to see LeBron James, then maybe it brings us back to even to where we'd be willing to trade for him and make a deal and treat him like he's some mortal regular player. But this guy still fills up arenas anywhere he goes. That value is not going to be something anybody's going to be willing to forego at all. Not over on our side. So that's what I had to say, man. I just... The media is going to continue to try to spin this narrative, try to manipulate all sides. They're going to feed information different ways and hope people react brashly to it. But at the end of the day, the Lakers hold LeBron James' rights for an entire year. He has a no-trade clause to assure they don't move on from him, some weird decision that they may decide to make in that regard. So there's a stalemate in place without anybody opening their mouth at all, just off the strength of both sides having that leverage. And so, is LeBron going to play for the Cleveland Cavaliers? No. Lakers are only going to let go of him this year if there's some type of legitimate proof that he no longer can draw people to fill up the arena every night. That's essentially what I'm saying to you. That's what makes sense to me anyway. People have done things that don't make sense, and we know that. But as far as I can tell, he still puts booties in seats. I'm not going to be moving on from him at all, if I'm honest. So that's that. We'll see what happens at the end of the season. If he does decide to do a last hurrah somewhere else, then that's just what it is. But if this is the last hurrah, then that's just what it is. Nobody knows but him, and I don't even know if he's made that decision at all. Does he want to go somewhere else? Does he want to continue to play? Who knows, right? I would tell the Lakers this. This is what I would say. Because a lot of the reports that are coming out are saying that the Lakers didn't tell LeBron that they were selling the team and that they did tell Luka and all that. I mean, from a logical standpoint, it makes all the sense in the world to do it that way because you don't have Luka on contract and you don't want him saying, okay, I'm not happy with this, I'm not signing with you, as to where you do have LeBron on contract. So keeping him happy is not something that you're forced to do. He's on his way out. He's 40 years old. He's probably not going to sign on for more than a year at a time. LeBron should understand his position to say, of course, that's how you play it. You play it that way because you want the new guy to feel special. It's not that you want LeBron to not feel special. You just have to create the environment for the new guy to feel like he's more important than LeBron to you, because he is. It's logic. That's business. That makes sense. That's how LeBron would play it if he were in charge of the business, if he knew what he was doing. You got to create the environment to separate the pecking order so that the guy who hasn't inked feels like he's prioritized in a way that elevates him above the guy who's been the most important person in the league for 20 years because he's on that person's team. It's a special way of treating somebody who's in a very unique situation. This is a superstar, obviously outright, who would be a number one on every team, who also can put $2 billion worth of jerseys on everyone's back globally and put booties in seats and all that stuff. You want him to understand that you value him in a very unique way. And the only way to do that is to give him a privilege that you would otherwise reserve for the other guy. It's the right way to play it. And if LeBron is emotional about that, he's smart enough to understand it's the only way to play it if you're the Lakers. The only way to play it. I'm going to let him know something that I would otherwise tell you when I was beholden to your leverage. Now I want him to stay for the next 20, 15, whatever years he's going to play left. And he ain't even on for the duration of the next 2 years yet. I need to make sure he knows he's more important than you. And you got to understand my position on that. It ain't personal, buddy. This is what needs to happen in order for him to feel like he can coexist with you altogether. Because if I'm giving him the same thing I give you, then what makes him feel like he's more important than you, as to which, why would he even share that? Why would he share that? Why would he even worry about sharing that when he could just go to the Clippers and not have that problem? Go to New York and not have that problem? Ain't no LeBron James in any of those places. You understand what I'm saying? This is where LeBron James is, and I'm trying to convince this guy that this is where he wants to be. So psychologically, I got to create a separation, a pecking order. And given the fact that you get all this power all the damn time, if I can utilize this opportunity to press this psychological button to let him know we definitively value you over him, damn it, that's the only way to keep him signing. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. That makes sense, bro. That's the only way to play it. This guy just got exiled out of his other team. You don't want him thinking that there's any questions about who's gonna go forward, especially when the other guy's 40 years old. You want him to know he's the most important guy. Man, I sit down with LeBron James and say, listen, bro, this is the only way to play it. If you think for 1 second that I have any sorrow about what that report is, you are out of your damn mind. I'm 100% going to go to the new guy who's 25 years old and tell him something that I would dare not tell you in this scenario. And it's not because I'm disrespecting you. It's because I'm trying to create a very clear pecking order here that will hopefully entice this guy to re-sign with me. And if I can effectively do that, then I got a nice long future with him, and you're going to be retired in 2 years. That is absolutely the way to play it. This is not disrespect toward LeBron. This is a psychological button pressed by the Lakers toward Luka to assure him that we're going forward with him, and it's the smartest way to play it. And if LeBron doesn't see that, he ain't as smart as everybody tells us he is. And I'm very disappointed to say that, because I definitely think he's as smart as everybody says he is in that regard, for certain. You don't become a billionaire being an idiot. So, LeBron, it may not be easy for LeBron to absorb this, but you just gotta understand it and overcome one's mind. This sucks. I'm used to being treated with this type of leverage. It ain't easy to coexist with somebody who's doing the power shift. After 21 years, I'm not saying it's gonna be easy for LeBron to absorb this. But don't act like the other side was supposed to play it any other way if they're doing what's best for them. Don't act like that. Don't act like this wasn't a very necessary psychological button to press for Luka and his camp in order to assure that we secure his services for the next several years. Because if we don't press this button and we still favor you, that could be a risk. Him signing with us and we lose both of y'all in 2 years. That make no damn sense for us to play it that way. So I just want to tell people that I firmly understood what the Lakers are doing. That's exactly what's smart. and that's just what it is, man. I support the Lakers 100,000% behind that. This ain't got nothing to do with LeBron James. This has to do with us trying to secure the services of Luka the Don. So that's what I want to say about that particular report, man. That's the only way to play it, bro. I wouldn't do no other thing. And I ain't saying it's easy for LeBron to absorb, but I do expect for him to snap out of that, lick his wounds, talk to the sports therapist, sip some wine over it, hit the punching bag a couple times, put on a suit, and remember who the hell he is, and remember what games are being played around him, and understand he's going to be in that seat soon if he gets a team. He's going to have to do stuff like this. And no, you're not going to be in the situation the Lakers are in where they're trying to keep two Pantheon greats in two very different points in their careers in a position for which they're secure under contract, and one of them ain't under contract yet. You ain't gonna never be in that position, because it ain't gonna never be another situation where you're trying to balance Luka the Don, LeBron James, the timelines, and the value of the Lakers organization and their responsibility to keep sustainable excellence in place at all times. You ain't never gonna be in that situation with a brand new expansion Vegas team or whatever team you end up buying ownership into. So respect the difficulty of the balance, and let these Laker people do what they need to do to secure their future, man. Literally. That's what I expect from LeBron James. Just like I told Dalton Connect to get over being traded, because it was, the whole thing was necessary for what the Lakers had to do. I tell LeBron the same thing. Same exact thing, and expect him to do it. Because we're not babies. Dalton's 25. LeBron is my age. We're about to be 41 this year. We were born in 84. We ain't young. We get this stuff. It may not be easy for us to absorb what's necessary, but damn it, we ain't too stupid to see all the angles. So that's what I got to say about that, man. I don't think LeBron James is going to have too much trouble with that. It may be stinging right now. It may be stinging for the rest of the summer, but I expect for him to get over it and be ready for training camp. I really do. Especially if someone sends him this video. So, that's pretty much what I have to say about that, man. All these other reports, this is for low frequency, low can't think for themselves type people. Oh, LeBron's leaving. He's going to Dallas. No, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not. If he does leave, it'll be after this season, or some weird circumstances created an environment for which these two people can't exist, these two sides can't exist, and they amicably walk away from one another sooner than expected. Other than that, and which it looks like the media is trying to create, but I don't think they're actually going to be successful in that. I don't think so. So that's pretty much what I got to say, man. Hope everybody's enjoying their day. Have a fantastic weekend. BDL44, I thank you all for watching. Out.